Yeah, about the SWP. I mean, I suppose this is in my volume, reflects the problems that I have with what David and his partner have said or haven't said. Animation was in charge of the relevant section. True. She says in the book that she reduced the numbers of agents drastically to a handful. So let's assume we were 14 and you ended up with 2 or 3. The difficulty I have with that, without knowing who those people are, then we can't really answer the question. To what extent, I mean, those people, presumably, if you're going to get rid of 11 or 14 agents, the 3 are going to be important. Now, whatever us individuals might have about the SWP, they have for the last 25 years or so been the dominant organisation numerically on the British left. And the fact that at this current time the party seems to be liquidating itself into the Respect Alliance, which is a political alliance between the traditional left and sections of the Muslim community, while there's a political case to be said for that. I just find it interesting that as MI5 is interested in spying on the Muslim community, the SWP makes that strategic orientation. And if we knew who the SWP assets were who remained, or any who left had been reactivated, we would be able to answer the question, has the political turn that the SWP has taken in recent times got something more to it than traditional politics? That is the question that concerns.
Unfortunately, within MI5, the identities of agents are kept secret in the agent running sections. Desk officers who are responsible for taking the intelligence from those sources in fact, virtually never meet them, are certainly never given their true identities. So I'm afraid Annie's not in a position to be able to name these people. Although, obviously, if she knew somebody who worked for MI5 was trying in some ways to undermine the British left in the way that you're suggesting, Larry, I'm sure she would say that was the case and would speak up in defence of our rights. But unfortunately, she does not know the names of agents. The only reason that I knew about the agents in class war was because I was involved in the exceptional briefing, and it was possible under those circumstances to know.
It's just that if she's seen the product that person has produced, then I imagine people in the organisation from the name could get that information. If she sees the intelligence they produce, then you know they will be able to work out who's at what meeting. I don't just mean Roger Rose.
It would involve a lot of going through files and so on to be able to do that. Of course, you never know whether there's going to be 1 agent or 2, you never know what the hell is going on. All you can ever look at is the number of people at meetings and speculate. And if we started putting out information saying, well, that person, we think that person is an agent, you come back at us and accuse us of putting out misinformation and trying to divide the left. We can't win.
Why not photocopy the files? Why were they 187 files on the photocopy?
Because the files that I photocopied when I was working in the Middle Eastern section. The other files I had access to prove what I was saying. I did not have access to files in the council version section when I left the service, nor would I be able to call up those files. So it simply wasn't possible. If I'd been able to take those things, I would have done so.
Just a quick supplementary. Forgetting names, were these agents that you said 14 or so in although in order to feel on the affairs of the farm, were they just feeding intelligence which seems in the farm? In other words, passive agents? Or were they indeed, as with Roger Wilson, active agents who actually had an impact on policy changes and actually were able to do lots of things inside these groups which would detrimental to the reputation?
I obviously don't have the expertise to be able to answer that question. Like I said, I don't know who the agents are. I'm not in a position to know what they were saying at the meetings and so on. I'm not, again, Larry, trying to prevaricate you. I'm just telling you that Annie had that area of expertise. I didn't have it, so I can't answer that question. What I can say is where I obviously did come across what I believe rational profiteering in the case of Roger Windsor, in the case of his class war agents and so on, and I have tried to expose them. I'm sorry, I honestly cannot be more helpful. If I could be, if I good.
SWP's turning towards the Muslim groups help MI5's agenda. What evidence is there for MI5's interest in cultivating left and Muslim contacts? I believe this is in response to a statement that Larry made earlier about the thing that he just restated just now, that looks suspicious. The second question is very similar. Would MI5 or 6 be interested, active operationally in the Muslim Association of Britain? Would they be active with regard to George Galloway MP? Would this affect the number of agents that they're running from the SWP? Would they see need to employ more? How they both seem to relate to the SWP, Muslim Association of Britain, Muslim community overlap. Larry, do you want to answer first of all, clarify the point you made about how do you feel this would be the secret state's agenda?
I mean, why a secret state might want to do that? You mean in terms of affecting the SWP's policy? Well, it would be simple, really. Although MI5 has put adverts for agents who from the ethnic minorities in the Guardian and in other places, the problem that I think they face in terms of recruiting people in this country is that the type of people who be attracted to security services normally don't come from those communities. So as well as all the PR initiatives to recruit people, if they have existing assets inside left-wing organisations and they can be pushed towards that community, which is the way which one respect means, or what could mean, sorry. I mean, there is a legitimate political argument for respect, which I respect with small r. I just think it is an interesting question, because traditionally, the IRA were very suspicious of British left groups because they thought that when they offered solidarity, in fact, they were spying on them for MI5. And it may not be the case that until we know who the people are in the SWP, who are agents of MI5 and indeed other agencies, special branches and so on, then there is that question about what's going on in respect.
Yeah, I mean,